There we
Okay.
go.
Welcome. I'm here with Gray of Augmented Personality, and we're going to talk about her new social type. So
It's not that new.
it's not that new, but now it's public.
It's been like what, 3 weeks?
I
Three whole weeks.
guess,
Okay,
but
I guess
now
that's
it's the
technically new.
world. Now the world will know. Now it's on YouTube.
The world.
The world.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how many views we get.
Yeah, like not that many. Don't worry about it.
All right. So, do you have questions, or am I going to interview
I
myself? Like, how does this
I
work?
would I would like you, Gray, to explain how you got your social type.
Okay. So basically how I got into all of this is last August I was able to visit Dave and Chan, and this is when they were still kind of like working this out before, like, it takes them a long time to kind of work out the definitions and everything. And at the time it was like more clear that I was at least on the responsibility side of the responsibility specialized coin. And so the tentative typing that I was operate under was 2. And then basically how they've talked about this before, how they've always done their typings is they have like a couple key people that they're working with as like their benchmarks. And then they look for like, okay, how do other people cluster into that behavior? And they start looking for other markers. And that kind of is what ends up building out the pattern. Is they always start with like the analogy that Dave and Shan have used is like they look at the leaves of the tree and then they start like finding some of the more root things going on there, right? And so basically as time went on, they ended up kind of updating some of their interpretations, and that then follows as they're like, okay, wait, this is not in the 2 category. She's still a savior responsibility, but this is not savior. This is not savior friends. This is savior flex. And so then that pushes me over into the 1 category. And so I got that update just recently, and that was something that was very interesting to get. And I would recommend for anyone who's interested in learning about that is you can go onto their website and you can sign up for Dave Audio. It's a number of dollars that keeps changing. So I'm not going to say what the price is because every time I check, it's different. So I'm like, well, it's a price that if you might be willing to pay. So go onto their website and go check out Dave Audio if you're interested in doing that. And yeah, it was like it was of course like the normal typing process doldrums of immediately started out with like, oh my God, all this new information, like clicking it all into place. And then, then there's this downward crash, like this excitement of Savior OE, like, oh my God, new. And then the downward crash of, oh my God, I'm so terrible. And that lasted about like a week. And then like after that, I was like, okay, it's just information when it settles out. And then here I am. And now it's been a couple weeks. I've had time to process it, time to talk it out with some friends. Yeah, it just seems like it's settled. Like it's not settled. Nothing ever is. You always got to keep bringing out things and like pouring more layers of paint on them. But I feel at least comfortable blasting about it to get started. And then I can continue to, watch this interview back and then process more later as my type is prone to do. So
it's settled. There's no more consume to do. That's what I've been wanting to say.
No. There will always be more questions to ask, and there will always be more layers of paint to add on to the existing processing. So there's going to be lifelong learning. It's just that I'm ready to get started, so that way I can get to the sleep and consume. I know the order I got to go in. Owning the process.
Yeah. So what was it? What is your perception of like being a 1 like? From your point of view, like, have you?
So I would say that the thing that I personally see is how my masculine. So okay, how my masculine TE shows up, and then how my DI last shows up seems to be different from other like TEs or other EJs of my in my category. So to flesh that out a little bit. There are plenty of masculine TE saviors or masculine FE saviors that are not as aggressive as I am. I'm kind of used frequently as like, okay, if you're as aggressive as Gray, you might be masculine DE. And a lot of times it's interesting because that doesn't work because then someone will be masculine DI and be as aggressive as me. And they might be savior flex or, some other factor or something that contributes to that. But the thing that's interesting is that the flex instinct also comes with there's an analogy from a book I read where competition was bred into their lineage in order to encourage them to that way only the best people of their
Where is
um
this?
it's a book series that
Oh,
I
it's a
read
book. Okay.
by Ilona Andrews, and her main character's lineage, literally, like competition is bred into their bloodline, so they'll compete with each other. So only the best of their bloodline can reproduce, and it's like that's what it feels like. It feels like my job is to take up territory, and then once I've taken up that territory, then I'm supposed to scope out other people's territories and try to acquire them and bring them into my own pile, right? And to protect my territory from other neighboring territories. And that it's not, a lot of that is like I take a lot of pride in what I've considered to be mine. I have a huge amount of I will do, if I put my name to something, I will do anything to get that to happen, you know?
So
But sorry, I'll wrap up. So the problem is that then that's aggression when I
Yep.
perceive any threats
Yes.
to the thing I've put my name onto. And then being demon DI, I don't always know what I've put my name onto. So then I get really aggressive with people, and I don't even know why I'm doing that. So then the necessary steps are, okay, what do I identify with? What have I put my name to? Having that conscious, so that way I can choose how I want to actually use that, like that aggressive energy, because I want to use it well. I don't want to use it irresponsibly. So
that is so interesting you use that analogy, because I was literally talking to someone last night, and they literally use that analogy of Gray's the king with she, her pronouns, and she's knighting you to send you out to conquer new territory. That I'm like, literally use that analogy.
I'm just like sitting here like this. The other issue with being an EJ is that like you say that, and I get this like seize up of like how does the tribe see me? What am I? They see me as up there. That seems wrong. And that's like a conflict because like there's a huge part of me that says like, yes, you should see me in a crown. I look great. But then the other large part of me is like, no, you shouldn't be like that. Everyone else is threatening you and coming down on you. Like you're the one who's having to struggle and like, you're the downtrodden. And like that dichotomy is, I've been a bulldozer my entire life. So it's not, it was relatively easy for me to accept when I was even working through ops. It was easy for me to accept masculine to eat because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a bitch. Like, can I swear? I already did.
That's how we became friends. That's how we became friends.
What? You affectionately referred to me as a cold, hard bitch. And I said, thank you.
I said, yep. Gray, you're a cold, hard bitch, but that's what we love about you. And then I immediately went, what did I just say to Gray?
I know. And I was like, yes, it's true. At that point, like I didn't like, I knew that I was aggressive before I got into ops. So like being masculine to eat didn't scare me really. In fact, it made more sense of what I was typing with before. So like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what didn't make sense was then all the other EJs were so much nicer than me. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I would say this is the part that maybe continues to make me feel isolated and probably will always, is that I have the EJ desire to connect with people and I want to connect with people, but then I don't understand why it's so hard. Like, okay, just put your name to something and then go do it. Like, why is it hard to do this? Just do it. Just go. And there's like this, even when I'm trying to blast and help people figure it out, there's still this like, just put your name to the thing. I'm still preaching a savior in a sense. And so that creates like tension if the person is not a one or not savior flex, is like, they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean just put my name to it? It's like, just put your name to it. Like, say this is who you are and then embody it. Like,
you know what? So that's something I've been puzzling over, is the friends versus Flexcoin. And in me, I'm super DI, right? So right. I'm starting to realize, oh, I'm not connecting with people at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And so I'm like people are like, ooh, who do you feel connected to? I'm like, one guy. And I'm like, wait, do I actually feel connected to him? And then I had to put the effort in and go, his story is the same as mine, and push it in my face until I was like,
I've had to remind you that we're friends repeatedly. This is like, we've had that conversation where I'm like, we're friends, right? Like, I'm not trying to like kick your ass all the time. And you're like, wait, what? Wait, what? Like, we just had this conversation. You're like, wait, what? Wait. you're not trying to like be. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not trying to hostile take over your territory right now. So it's okay. So it's all good. You'll know when I'm being hostile towards you. It's very obvious.
No, that's what I said in my last interview. I said, there's a new guy at work. He's friendly. And I go, this guy's going to backstab me. This can't be real. This can't be real.
Oh,
and
no,
go,
it can't be. It can't be real. But at the same time, you have to treat it as if it is real because maybe it might be. You got to leave the options open, my friend.
Yeah, well, I do go talk to him, but he's a lovely man, and I'm trying to learn. I'm just trying to take the connection and just like push it into myself and to like what.
Okay, what are you? So I don't want to start blasting. I don't want to start telling you how to live your life.
Tell me, I'll take it.
Okay. I guess the question would be like, what are you really trying to learn?
Okay, this is in the back of my head, but it's almost like a skill, like the art of seduction.
Okay.
And so, like, the best seducers are the people who go up to you and tell you all about, let you talk all about yourself or something.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, I don't have that skill. I don't have that skill to engross myself in someone else's story and believe it. So if I'm going to gain the charisma I want to have, I need to learn the skill. I need to understand how this guy keeps investing in everyone's story. And I need to try, when he's telling me stuff, to go connect. And he probably told me something today, and I probably failed. I told him, I'm going to try and learn gratitude from that story. He's like, I'm glad you took something away from it. And it was maybe awkward because he was like literally emotion dumping like his sob story on me. And it was like, I'm like, I might have to go home and cry about what this guy went through. Like put myself in his shoes, like in an FI way. Like I'm trying to put him in my FI, but like I'm probably doing it the wrong way. I'm probably doing the connection the wrong way. Oops.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, you like I understand, like, you're trying to turn like like you're trying to put your name to, I want to be charismatic, right? That's what's happening. So that's a first step. That's a really good first step. So because that's what I do when I'm trying to work on something. At least I think that's a good first step according to me, my self story. But I think the thing that like this is my opinion at this time. Disclaimer, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like, the thing that when you're trying to genuinely connect with somebody is that like there's not an exchange. Okay, so keep with the kingdom analogy. Like when two kingdoms interact, there is, okay, we have a treaty going on and you're going to show up under these terms and then you're going to leave on these terms and this is how it's all going to work, and then we'll part ways and that's how we're going to handle things. And it's going to be very formal, and there's there's expectations that are set, right? And so like, you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to take this specific thing away from our interaction. The expectation is set that I will learn gratitude. And he's like, he's just sharing, man. There's no expectation. He was just doing it cause. And once you like, it's like, I would say like the thing, like, can you make yourself enjoy the moment? Like, feel like there's pause and be like, this guy liked you enough to share his story with you. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, but I'm sure he shares a story with every person he comes across. He kind of hinted at that.
Okay. And but that's okay. I do the same thing. I feel like that's a really messed up part of Demon Friends, is that we don't think that without showing off that we're worthy of connecting to just as people. Right? Dude!
Fucking got me!
I know, right? Dude, I've been doing some serious digging at this shit.
If I'm not loved for this, what could I be loved for?
Maybe as a person.
Oh, fuck! No! It can't be.
Wait. So Henry, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who's supposed to be getting interviewed here?
Good question.
Would you like to ask me some questions now?
We can move into those questions, but I just thought this was fun.
No, it's good. I'm teasing. Like, this is part of like the game is like I think it's really good that you're doing interviews, because it does force you to practice listening to the other person and actually enjoying the back and forth of them in the moment. Which, you're doing great. You're having fun. And this is like, to me, this is like an actual, like, sure, there's a beauty. You setting up, I'm going to have a formal thing. It's a formal exchange. There's a purpose behind it. So it's not just enjoying in the moment, but then on top of that, you can practice, okay, now I'm going to try and enjoy in the moment and be weird with this person. So you can kind of turn again the flex onto the friends, just keep turning the savior onto the demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. I'm working on it.
I know.
By the way,
I'm already blasting to you. I'm sorry.
Your audio is part of what helped. People were like, "Why are you doing this?" And that audio you sent me is part of what helped.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, I was
glad.
like, "Oh yeah, I need to get people's stories," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm talking about myself again."
You are
probably easier when you have DE. Shit.
But
you know what?
okay, but that's something.
Shot just for me.
Oh my god! There's multiple people that have that's so fake. It's so obvious you're not taking an actual shot. So it's what I will say is it's not. Oh my god, it's not actually easier. I would say as a savior DE because there was a couple people that have mistyped me or might still mistype me to this day as savior DI. And they're like, there's no way she can be savior DE and be that willing to come out with her own opinion and have it that intensely. And I'm like, well, I'm just a one. I'm obligated to give you my process story about who I am and try to sell you on it. So that way, maybe if I do that enough, maybe then I'll get connections instead of doing it on the front end and just being like, let me just connect with people as myself, flaws and all.
There's advantages to both. Absolutely.
I have a hair on my eye. So sorry. See, speaking of embarrassing things, dog hair everywhere. Yes, continue.
It seems like the ego, the flex people have this shell, and the friends people just don't have the shell.
You're killing me with the mic thing. You got to stop moving around so much with the microphone. Fucking masculine sensory wiggles. No, I totally hear you. I agree with the shell thing.
But the friends people, they don't have any shell of protection, and so the friends guy I have at work, he's like, I have a friend in prison. He sends me money. I have to send it to his girlfriend. Everyone's asking, and I'm like, how'd you get involved with a guy in prison?
How are you in this situation? Why haven't you just cut them off? Right? Yeah. Instantly.
You're too precious for this world. That's what
I get very protective over people that are savior friends. Yeah. Because it is so they're so willing to just hand out friendship like candy. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I keep calling it the cookie. I need to stop calling it my flex cookie that they're giving me. It's like, oh, they're handing out the friendship cookie. Damn it.
They might be.
Yeah. Okay. I think we need to move on.
You're gonna ask real questions now? Okay.
The questions I prepared. The ones that you selected from the list. And I might even have a secret surprise question as well.
You're such an EP.
No, it was actually I thought we had to round it out to 8, as all things must be rounded out to 8. So, first, Gray, if you could be Gray, if you could be, what would you want to be famous for?
So what's really funny is when I was a kid, the thing I just wanted to be was just famous, period. And I say that as I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be a award-winning marine biologist and I wanted to be this and I wanted to be that and I wanted to be everything under the sun. And it was everything that interested me and I wanted to be the best at it. And then anything that I wasn't immediately good at, I stopped doing.
Yeah.
So then the next thing I would do after that is I'd be like, no, actually, I never wanted to do that. I only did that because other people told me to. So there's the EJ martyr effect. And now I'm kind of coming back around to I want to do a lot of things. I definitely have a lot of incongruencies running around my head and I'm working and eliminating those. And this is something that a 1 is flex, responsibility, specialized. 3rd is kind of coming around to really finding the specialized 3rd is okay, what are a couple solid roles that I'm comfortable owning the hell out of? And then, putting my name to. And then by doing that, how can I then get to where I want to be, where I can even be comfortable with my level of notoriety, let's say. Because being famous just generally, when I really think about the realities of if I was when I was a kid, it was a fantasy, but as a reality, I would never want to be actor famous. I would never I love the idea of meeting Stephen Colbert. I do not like the reality of going on to the late night show with Stephen Colbert because you want to know what happens then is that you have cameras follow you everywhere and you never get a moment's break. And I already know how different I act once I get on camera, or if other people can see me. I don't want to live my life that way. I don't like who I like who I am on camera. I find that person to be incomplete without the parts of me that are off camera. And I don't want to live a life permanently on camera. So all that being said, like being famous itself is not something I actually want to put my name to, but it's funny that like the answer is like everything. I want to be famous for everything, you know? And it's very interesting how like, there's some understandings of like, is it more that you want to be like, is it like a specific thing that like number ones want to do and they want to be at the top of that? Like Conor McGregor was like way more focused on just like, you know, just one thing. And then Trump's like bounced around to a lot of different things. Right. So there's definitely like different behavior in the sensory, but for me, it was very much like everything. I wanted everything. I want it all, you know, there wasn't a specific thing that I ever locked onto. I just wanted to be at like, I want it all, you know? So yeah. And now I've realized that being actually famous sounds terrible. So yeah.
Maybe.
For me, other people, you know, by all means have fun. But
I don't know about you. I don't want to be famous, but I want power. Okay. Maybe that's cringe.
Oh yeah. That's okay.
It's fine.
One of us. I'm Savior SC. I guess I'll be Savior Cool Guy today.
You're allowed to be the Savior Cool Guy.
Just for one day.
Just
I can
for
be
one
the Savior Cool
day.
Guy.
I'll be. Yeah. That's how we connect. I'd be weird. It's your turn to be cool. We lift.
Oh, for once.
There we go.
There we go.
Raise SF
like,
cool now.
You know, every time we have a conversation, you do talk more than me. I become blast. So it's true. I get to be Savior Cool Guy.
Damn it. Am I that bad? Okay, it's whatever.
Don't make it about you. Don't take it on personally. It's not real.
Good.
Don't worry. It's not about the flex, man. Don't worry. We're not talking about your image. Chill out.
Okay.
You see, you're doing it again. I know it's hard. It's hard not to.
Deep breaths.
See, we'll both consume. Good for us. Go team.
Good for us. Go team.
Go team.
Okay.
Go for it.
Next question. For what in life do you feel most grateful?
Genuinely, my connections with people. So last year was a really difficult year for a lot of reasons. And the hardest thing about it was I was basically cutting off like my most like one of the connections I'd attached the most deeply into, like a huge amount of my ego and my image was like locked up in that. And I was really, I like hardcore isolated myself from my family and from a lot of people during that. Like I didn't make videos for a really long time. I was like really holding up afterwards. And for those people who don't know, I have been in the process of getting a divorce. So that's something that has been really intense for me, is cutting off that connection. But the thing that has gotten me through it hasn't been just like doing things on my own and being my own man and blah, blah, blah. It's like what the thing is like saved my fucking life has been, you know, the friends that I have here on the internet that understand what I'm going through or have just been there for me generally. And like, I do not know what I would do without the people of my life. Like not like genuinely, like I am a crazy person
They keep you
left
sane.
to my own
I was about to
devices.
say it. They keep you sane.
Yeah. I need people to like, and I very much like my friends do. They are like, they know that I will like field check things by them. Like there's one day just like, someone needed help at work. And I was like, oh my God, I could put my name to that. I could be the person that's like working extra hours. And I was like, whoa, do I even want that? Like, I don't even know. And I like, just like reached out and I called a friend like, hey, can you help me? Like, just don't even tell me what to do. Can you just ask me questions? And that's exactly what he did. He just asked me questions the entire conversation until I was just like, okay, yeah, I don't want to pick up the extra shift. Like that'd be too much for me. I think I'm just doing that so I can get the validation cookie to be the, oh yeah, I'm the hard worker in the, it's like, yeah, I don't want to put my name to that. I am here to fulfill a role. I'm doing my thing here. And there's other areas that I need my energy for that I do want to put my name to that are more important to me. So I'm going to, you know, move things around that way. And I wouldn't have been able to come to that conclusion. I would have spun for hours, or I would have just run and done it and then exhausted myself. So it's like it made it made what could have been way too long 30 minutes. And so like that's something that I really see like needing, or like, you know, just in general, like if I hear like, oh, there's a rumor about this, any decider problem, especially, it's like, just go straight to the source. Just what's going on? Whatever it is, we got to work it out. I don't care how bad it gets. Like whatever it is, we got to figure it out. And like just having to put myself through that exercise and having people I trust enough to do that with, like it's made it so much easier to like really improve a lot of the decider issues, improve a lot of the self-esteem issues, I would say, as well as an EJ. Like it's hard to be scared that you're going to be left, like as one, I'm scared of being alone because I have demon friends. And then as an EJ, I'm scared of being alone because I'm demon DI and I don't know who that is. Right. So it's like, it helps alleviate the fears when you actually put in the hours to be like, okay, like, who is this person that they want to be friends with? Oh, it's this person. Okay. And like getting to know myself and then actually connecting with the people and doing like, okay, this is who I am. I'm going to actually connect with people on those terms and have that back and forth with them. Like that's been everything. It's been everything to actually kind of excavate out my FI and then share that with people for real. Which I wasn't doing before, I would say. I don't think I was doing that before at all. And I think that that's my fault. That's part of what's like damaged my relationships my entire life. And that sucks that I did that to myself. Oh my God, there have been comments the entire time.
Oh, I had a couple of questions.
I
was like, Gray will keep. When I first made the post, I was like, Gray will watch the chat, and I deleted it.
I had no fucking clue. That's so funny. This is hilarious. Hey guys, I wasn't reading any of this. Okay.
Flexing equals weird. Weird flex, but okay. What?
Okay. I don't actually want to read these right now. I'm going back to the private chat. It's nice and quiet over there. Ooh, okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, where were my questions? Damn it.
Where were they? Did you fucking observers?
They were covering Well, no, when you were like that has been fucking up all my relationships, I was like, what have I been doing that's fucking up all my relationships?
Oh my God. Of course you brought it right back to yourself. Of course you did. What else can you do? It's okay.
How do we connect, Gray? How do we connect? We share. You talk and then I talk. What?
Not in an interview. Context, my friend. Context.
I need to stop calling these interviews. That's the answer.
Actually, you might want to make them more of a podcast format. If you want to be able to talk about yourself. Alternatively, you could just learn how to interview people.
Okay, that's better.
That might be better.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So, your answer to the last question leads to the next question. What does friendship mean to you, Gray?
I got into that a little bit, but like, I feel like I'll talk about like my best friendships that I have, and then I feel like that will give a better answer as to what it is to me. So I feel like the closest relationships I have with people are probably the ones where it's so funny. Like, okay, I'm going to zoom out for a second into the info so I can think a little bit. It's so funny, like watching myself, like, you know, save your DE, but then immediately slow down as soon as I'm like really talking about friends. And it's like, I might rope in other people normally, but like actually then trying to talk about how I like the combination of how do I feel about my friends? What do I value in my friends? So it's like the double demon zone. I get like really slow. This is really interesting. This is good. I'm gonna love watching this back later. Yeah, I would say like the things that I get the most out of is like the vulnerable conversations where I feel like very lucky that they trust me with what they're telling me, but then also like compelled to share back. And there's a type of vulnerability that you really only get, like there's an analogy in a different personality system, but like psychologically naked is like when you're sitting there, you know, like you sitting there, you're on like a call with somebody maybe, or like you're texting back and forth with somebody. It's been like a couple hours and like you're really starting to like get into like your childhood trauma and the stuff that you like the stuff that you've both been through and like your shitty relationships and how it really felt when your dad said that thing that makes you, this is all decider land, but like that your dad said this thing about you, like the hard stuff that like we all sit through, like that pain, the subjective self pain that we all go through, like those stories are sharing those and like getting like I'll show you mine if you show me yours, like that back and forth is like you getting to know somebody, getting to be there for them, and then them being there for you is really it. And then I think the thing that's the best part about it now for me is now that I'm like, I'm not sharing so that way I'm like, oh, because this is what people do. It's like, no, I'm actually going to share like the stuff I don't want to talk about, which is like the really ugly feelings that come with it. Just not just like, oh, I've been through more shit than you, and that's why I win the worst childhood game. Like, I can play that game really well, but like what I don't win at is, okay, but how did I really feel about it? Like, what do I still struggle with to this day? So I act like I'm fine. I am not fine, And so that's like something that I feel like that's everything. Like to be able to be psychologically naked in front of somebody else and then like be accepted and then accept them in return. Like there's a lot of words to like get there, but that's, I think, like what a real friendship is like being able to risk a lot and expose yourself to somebody without reservation. It's really hard. It's hard to do for me because I don't believe that anyone would ever care about me if they saw me for who I really am, which isn't true because people like we don't hide ourselves anywhere near as well as we think we do. I reveal myself all the time.
People see through it.
Whether I mean, yeah, right. People see through that. So realizing that they're going to know me I can't hide myself anyways. The only person I'm fooling is myself. And I'm denying myself the joy of connecting with people by acting like an utter fool. And I really, really firmly believe that my connections with people now are so much richer than they were before because I am taking this much more vulnerable angle towards connecting with people. And it's like a work in progress, and it will be a work in progress always, I think. I don't think that I'm ever going to be done. I also think it's going to be like a daily practice rather than like okay, I did the work and I've undone my trauma. I think it's much more like, no, I have to remind myself that there are certain things I need to do,
I think
talked a lot.
I think, well, you reprimanded me every time I started talking about myself, but oh, damn it. Did I lose it? What was the last thing you said?
I was saying something about being vulnerable with people. I was saying something about like not feeling like people would connect with me for the real me. Which one do you want? There's a lot in there. It has to be a regular exercise, an actual practice rather than magical healing.
Oh, okay. Now I know what I was going to say.
Okay. Thank God one of us is able blast.
Yeah. I think there is a time where you can go in your life and go, it's time to heal this. But it might be hard depending on what it is. Because that's where I'm at.
I think
but I don't know.
My framing of it has like just based on like the work I've done on myself is that it starts like it's like any habit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I brush my teeth every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not because I started out born right at the gates brushing my teeth. It's because I built the habit. And so like it's not even something I think about. It's just part of my evening routine, and like my evening routine is now expanded and grown from there. Right. And so I feel like that's kind of like how healing works is that you start by making a habit of working on one unhealthy practice. And then as you unearth more things about yourself that perhaps you want to work on, or perhaps just need to be regulated because they can't fully be corrected because no one ever becomes fully healthy as you continue to kind of put in barriers in place and like structures in place, like the structures become routine. and so you're healthier. But like, it's not like this. Like, you still have scars. You know, like if like literally when someone's physically scarred, like if it's a significant enough scar, you have to put like lotion and massage the scar so it doesn't stiffen up and you can't move it, right? And you have to exercise to be able to move the skin tissue, the tissue. So like I feel like it translates. It's like you have to work on it every day, but then you can still use your arm and it's like you're still functional and you're able to, but scar, you always were injured. That part is what I mean. Like, but you develop the routines to maintain and take care of it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't know if everyone's going to feel that way about it, or I don't even know if that mindset works for everybody. But I know what's helped me is a lot of patience and love for myself, and then patience and love for other people. Like if I can give those things, like everyone has a shitty story. Every single person has a shitty time. Like the more I can give, like if I can be compassionate for them, right? Start there. If I can have patience and love for them, then I can take that and be like, okay, so why don't I also deserve that? And then kind of just create this like patience, like it's good for everybody, you know, like everything gets better. So I'm just preaching. I'm just talking about, I don't know, just patience and love, long-term thinking and
patience and love.
Approach. Yeah. This is something I've thought about before of like, oh, I said it once in something I recorded and I heard myself say it and I was like, oh my God, I'm talking about my demons right now. Yep. So, yeah, for all the TESEs out there, this magical solutions is patience and love. For everybody else, you're fucked. Don't know what to tell you.
I'll tell you. Can't help you. Sorry, guys.
Can't help you. Losers. But all the TESEs, I've got the answers
You're
right
taken
here.
care of. You're taken care of.
Here you are.
Grace figured it
You're
out.
good to go.
Any one of my functions. Sorry, you're still fucked. I have no answers for you. Okay, I'll just stop.
There you go.
But yeah. I wonder if I ask you just more of these questions and see how you react. I mean, we
go
could.
for it. I don't care.
Yeah. We got the time.
I can tolerate talking for about another hour. I start tapping out around 90 minutes. Like I was like,
awesome,
all right, I'm getting tired now.
We could do that. Well, to the top of the list. The funny thing is, I've gone through these questions with my family. You want to know where these questions are from?
Of course, they're from your family.
No. They're from a list. They're from a list called the 36 questions to fall in love. So there are questions. Yeah, I know. So I picked the fucking normal
NF
ones
saviors.
I know.
Fucking NF saviors.
I've always like had this like in the back, and like I was literally with my family. My sister brought it up. I was like, let's go through some of them. Yeah. I was like, oh, you know about this?
All right. Okay. Hey, maybe it works. I don't know.
I want to hear. What would constitute the perfect day for you?
The perfect day for me? I don't know. Perfect day for me. I like a day that feels like productive and fun, I would say. So I really like if I can get something recorded. It's usually a good day. If I can get something recorded, that's a good day.
We're not talking about good. We're talking about perfect. The perfect day. The perfect day. Perfectest perfect day you could imagine.
I don't believe in that. You're not aligning with my worldview, pal. Get out of my way. Let me tell you what a good day is, and that will, if you put all the pieces together, that will constitute a perfect day.
Not thinking big enough. Go ahead.
Fucking any's. Just I'm like, I'm working with SE, okay? There's reality and there's constraints on what can happen. Just get fucking impossible bullshit out of the way, you know? But like, no, seriously, like I would say, like, I like, you know, if I can record something, that's a good day. I like spending time with people. I like playing games. I like playing board games. I haven't played Settlers of Catan for a while. Somebody's fault, not mine. I know whose fault it is. I tried to play. Somebody wouldn't let me. So I like Settlers.
Not loud. Go out and fucking buy Settlers of Catan and then grab a bunch of people and play Settlers of Catan. No one's stopping you.
Come on, get it together. No. No, I like board games. I like hanging out with people. God, I love music. Like I can go to like some live music. I love doing that. Or like get to perform. I love doing that. I love performing in general. I think it's why I like recording, is that it's my talky version of performing. So Although I've had fun when I've like recorded covers for myself. Like I love doing that too. Like just spend a couple hours just like working on something. Like I'm terrible at mixing, so like I have no idea what I'm doing, but like it's fun. Yeah, I mean, spending time like hang out with people that I care about. Like usually there's like about, at any given point in time, there's about like 5 people I can tolerate. So, any one of them, spending time with one of them, like some of my best days have been like I'll be at home. It's like God fucking miserable out, like rainy and cold and gross.
Mhm.
And I am at home. I've got like a hot chocolate. I've got like a bowl of ramen, and I am on VC for like 8 hours. And then I like got some work done before, and I'm gonna like read a book or watch a movie after. Oh, I love watching movies. That's like one of my like definitely like overdo it habits. I love movies. I fucking love movies. So yeah. So I mean, the thing is, I don't feel like I can fit necessarily like in like I like because naps are important. I can't fit all those things in one day, but I guess a perfect weekend would have all those things. So yeah, because I gotta fit my naps in. If I don't get honestly, every weekend I take like a nap every single day of my weekends, and they're beautiful. I love me a nap. I did not take a nap today, and I can feel it.
I can contrast though. Let me contrast your story with what my family said. Is I'm with my whole family. We're all together. We're out skiing or something. And I was like, when I answered this question, I said, none of you are there. I wake up.
I wake up. You're so dramatic.
I go give a rousing speech to the troops. No, I'm just kidding. Not the troops. I give a speech. Everyone applauses. I go to bed.
And that baby was Albert Einstein. Yeah. Yeah.
No. It's all ridiculous. Go ahead.
No, you know what's funny about that is like I have had like fantasies of being at the head of an army and like giving like a rousing speech, and then of course charging into battle with them. I'm TESing, I'm going in with my troops, but like I definitely go in with my troops. And this is the full honesty. The full honesty is I want to go in with my troops so that way other people are like, yeah, she's the kind of general that goes in with her troops. We like her. Full on, I admit it. I confess. I do it because people would admire that.
Oh, I was listening to the Art of Seduction, and they were talking about the charismatic, and it was like the Napoleon who walked with his troops by the cannons. It's like
like I read the Art of Seduction. I fully was like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm a female charismatic. Yeah, that's what I do. Oh my god, I'm jokingly said.
Yeah.
It's the Gray Show. This happened to. Oh my god, I felt so bad about this. I pulled the Gray Show once at a party. I was not in my right mind. I did not mean to do this to some poor soul. I just started like spitting personality stuff at him and just started like yanking stuff out about him based on like how he was behaving and like how he's interacting with other people. And like he thought that meant that I liked him. And I was just putting on the Gray Show because it was 2 a.m. and I was bored. And like apparently he was hung up about it for like 6 weeks. And I was like, sorry, I didn't mean to. Whoops. I just like put on the Gray Show. And when I put on the Gray Show, like there's really not a whole lot stopping me, So
I went out dancing for my birthday. I want to relate. I put on a small Hank show. It didn't last that long, but I danced with the girl. It was my friends from camp. They knew each other, and they were like, I just started talking to them. They're like, who the hell are you? Tell us your name. And I'm like, don't worry, you'll know my name one day. I fucking said that unironically, and they're like, no, for real, you gotta tell us your name. I'm like, don't worry about it. And I told them my name. I was just fucking with them. I gave them a hug. Like I was just being dramatic and stuff. Good
double deciding at least to actually give the name instead of just do not do the IP milady. Like
I didn't. Like I told them my name.
Please
and stuff.
Tell me you don't own a fedora. If you own a fedora, I'm getting off the call. Like
no, but I own a. It's like I own a hat that's like a fedora. It's more of a cowboy hat. It's more like a cowboy hat. It's
that's fine. That's fine. Cowboy. I know what you mean. Like it keeps the sun off you while you're. Yeah, totally. That's fine. I was worried you had an actual fedora. I was like ready to. I was like the button was above the leave studio thing. I was ready to go. I was like, no, you can't have a fedora. That's unacceptable.
Fedora tips it for my lady.
Please never pretend to do that again. ever
Lady,
in your
I just did
life.
it again.
I will find your location and I
I'm
will
gonna
end
move.
you.
Don't.
I'm under the floorboards. You can't escape from me. Throw me some cheese. I'm hungry. Like, come on. So yeah, we talked about the perfect weekend. Because fuck having a perfect day. Why not have a perfect weekend?
I'm gonna have a perfect week coming up soon, I think. But
dramatic. So, back to your interview questions. Come on, you can do this. You've got this. I believe in you.
I know. I was feeling the void. I was feeling the question flowing in to the vacuum.
Ah.
Gray, what
Me.
is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
I'm still alive.
I was thinking that too.
So, I think that the greatest accomplishment so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being alive is like a tongue-in-cheek statement, but like, I think that, like, if I define what living means a little bit differently, it still applies as a less of a tongue-in-cheek statement and more of a real thing. Like, I feel like a lot of people give up on life. I feel like a lot of people give up on.
Fuck! I want to grab those people.
Okay.
Wake up! Live, man!
But I don't mean like. I just mean like taking ownership of your life. You know, like whatever happens to you, like you're the one who put you there at some point. Like not when you're like a kid, stuff happens to you. You know.
Yeah.
But like at a certain point, like you get to choose how you want to respond to that. You get to choose who you want to be in response to that. And like there's a bunch of environmental factors that the observers are right, things are real. Also, the deciders are right. You can choose how you want to react to those things. And that's the thing is like chaos is going to happen all around you. You're not going to be able to control everything in the world, but you can control a huge amount of your own responses to those things. And I don't mean like, you know, there's so many different things that annoy me on a regular basis, but like, okay, there's a perfect, like I was just reading something that some kid said. It was just some kid. It was just some poor kid. And like, it was just so I'm like, man, that's not right. That's just so not right. And of course I had the impulse to be like, yeah, I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's how that works. And I was just like, it's a kid. They're going to figure that out the hard way. Like, and they're going to learn so much better from that than I could ever teach them. And it's just so much better to just take my hands off the wheel and just breathe and relax. And like that to me, like being able to do that once, like to actually have worked on my own reactions so that way I can like, you know, they just talked about this in Paul Ekman class, but like this is something that like so many different people within psychology have come to this conclusion, putting space between your response and your actual action. Like I feel like just so grateful when I can like catch a few. Like there's so many things I don't catch a few on that to catch a few on any is like, to me, that's what true agency is. Like, that's what truly having control over my life looks like. Truly living is not just being like, if I was on, like they always say, default programs, I would have torn that kid a new one. And I would have been worse off for it.
You took the double feminine approach.
Fuck the terms. Fuck the terms.
I
like,
know,
fuck,
but...
I don't care about the terms. Like, I'm serious. Like, if I had just been running on, like, I'm thinking more about the just the sum totality of everything I've been through. Like, I would be way worse off. Just not crazier, but like way worse off. And I just feel so grateful that like I've been able to get this far. And I'm so far from done. I've got so much work to do, like so fucking much. But like, I'm just glad that I can even have the pause to then be able to control that response. So yeah, I would say my greatest accomplishments have been those moments where I can catch it and just choose how I want to react. Cause you know, that's everything.
You're saying
choose life.
Your greatest accomplishment is the personal growth you've had.
Yeah, but that's my life, you know, so being alive. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, what else is there other than getting better as a person. Like I'm all my basic needs are met. So like I said this way back in my original interview with Sham, is that like all my basic needs have been met. So now all that I'm going for is a high score.
Yeah.
It's still true. Still true.
Yeah. So,
by the way, people in the comments, if you want to ask questions because Henry's taking too long with these, you can go for it. I'll answer them and I'll put them up in the chat if it'll let me click. So, just saying.
Well,
Feel free
I was
to
just looking at
interact,
the next
socialize,
question. I
be
was
a
like,
person.
what do you most value in friendship?
I kind of already answered that.
I know you kind of already answered that, so I was like,
I like when my friends are like, decently tolerable. Like I have like a joking coin of like, there's like idiot, there's like morons and tolerable, and like, like my friends are savior tolerable, but
savior tolerable. Okay. Next question. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about?
It depends on the context. Like, actually, I have an example. Now that I say that, but it's still context dependent. So I heard a story about somebody who apparently they didn't like their coworker, and so what they did is they set up a fake account on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, I think. So they set up multiple fake accounts to pose as this person's ex-boyfriend, their coworker's ex-boyfriend, so that way they could make their coworker feel stalked. And then to the point of where the coworker apparently walked out of their house, and this person was like actually like following them around to see them react to the freaky stuff that they were saying, but of course like not realizing it was them because it wasn't the ex, so they were looking for their ex and not, like freaking them out badly enough that they were like paranoid, she was paranoid with a titanium bat going around her house, aluminum bat, whatever, going around her house trying to make sure that she can like protect herself while she's waiting for the cops to show up. And I'm like, if you do something like that, you might not want to joke about it because, like you might not want to joke about, like, if you tell that story, you might want to feel a little contrite as you're telling it, because that's not cute, So like, stuff like that. Like,
jokes that
like,
are taken into reality.
I would say like the thing that like made it, like, it's one thing, everyone does fucked up shit. Like every single person, I don't care who you are. I've done terrible things. There's so many things I'm not proud of, but like, when I tell those stories, I really try hard to not be laughing at the other person's misery that I created, Like, you might not want to do that. Like, the likelihood that someone earned that level of psychological terror is pretty low. Like what did they do to deserve that? Like, that's like whatever the punishment was, like, was way out of proportion. Because in my brain, like, if you hit that point of behavior, like, you need to get probably like the law involved or something, So like, yeah, I very much feel that that's something where, like, I understand the impulse. I don't think it's wrong that people have those impulses to do terrible things. Like, I think that that's normal and very human. And it's something that you should talk about. You should open up about the dark things that you've done with your friends and like confide and be honest about being like a shitty person, because you are a shitty person and your friends better know that you're a shitty person so they can tell you when you're being a shitty person. But
yes,
if you are like, I think that there's a certain level of like, okay, you've done bad things. Yeah. You might not want to be laughing about that, Like, so I think that like that to me is like, I would say like, and like, okay, there's also a difference of like making a joke, like, out of something of like, oh, like if you make a joke out of something that like you're trying to like own it, but like you're also joking about it, that'd be one thing. But I think, my opinion, my dog is barking, you need to have the NF of owning it in addition to the joke. Like, that was missing from the conversation. So that's where it was like, not cool. you know? So yeah.
Gotcha.
Hopefully he stops working.
So, now that we've gotten through all the questions, I do wanna go in and talk a bit more about the social order stuff, and even
Okay, yeah, go for it.
compare and contrast, like what it might be. So you believe I am a 1.
My best guess for you at this time is that you are a 1. I'm seeing Savior Flex, and I'm also seeing a struggle to actually like own a role for yourself. And you seem to have like their biggest problem seems to be the demon friends. So
Yeah.
seems to be. Again, I'm not. This is my
The
best guess at this time.
the thing I've been like processing is like when people are like, "Hey, remember we hanging out and doing anything?" And I don't know if this is just the DI. It's just like this is what I'm talking about. I have no memory for that. I don't think it's just the DI. It's but like you have Savior Connection. You're tracking the tribe. So do you feel what I termed it as is I'm tracking victory and defeat for me? Do you feel like you have anything like that, or is it different for you? Because getting friends could be your
Okay.
victories, you know?
Yeah. Well, can you define what? Yeah. Can you define what that means for you, so I can like try and like pull it into my own worldview? Because like I'm having trouble slotting those words into like my existing and I
Yeah.
of what I'm
So
doing.
anytime anyone says, "Remember that funny thing happened? Remember us hanging out at the bar? Remember that?"
Okay, I remember those. I remember those.
So you have more remembering of those. My brain wipes it, like, and it's like, what was I the center of attention? Did I make everyone laugh, or did I make a fool of myself? It seems like that's what my brain's tracking. So I'm wondering.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess those aren't like I guess for me, this is like me like the time like when I'm remembering a positive thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like usually okay, I can use work. This is something that I love doing this at work. Like so me and my coworkers, like we have like phrases that we'll say and then we'll like audio fixate on. So one of them is Gerald because like it's so much fun to say. Like as soon as it's like Gerald, it's so yummy. And then one of us will say it and then we'll all say it. And we are losing it by the time that we've all like there's 6 people in there at a given time. And we are all just popping off saying Gerald over and over again. Like the seagulls in Finding Nemo going, mine. Like it's hilarious. And I love that. That moment of like, we're all joining in, we're all having fun doing that. And like the thing that in my head, what I guess like I'm kind of preoccupied with is like, yeah, I want to be part of all that. But then also I'm really good at like when there's like this is where the flex comes in of like when there's one of those audioisms, I fucking nail that. Like I know exactly how Bree said it the first time. She said it just like Gerald, and I nail that sound, and I like steal. I'm like I'm gonna say it the best. I'm gonna make sure that my sound is the best sound. Like when I remember this one time, I was talking with Griff and we were sending audios back and forth and I was just fucking kicking his ass with the Jordan Peterson impressions. Like, no, if you're going to do a Jordan Peterson impression, you've really got to get this part of the accent down. You've really got to make sure you get his O's right because he's from Canada. So he says a boot. And it's like stuff like that where I'm just sitting here like really like I'm flexing on him, but like, he's like laughing as he's trying to record it's like sure I'm being competitive but like I'm still safe your I don't want to do it alone, like winning like I would say like winning a lot of times does involve other people and sometimes like I won the game of Catan and when I win Catan that's the best day. I love winning. So like sometimes it is about me at the top, plenty of times it's about just me at the top, but there's also plenty of times where it's like everybody. And there's some like really sweet memories I have where like someone else is just making me laugh. But that like, okay, this is me. I love feeling special too. I love when it's like someone's trying to entertain me because they care about me because clearly I'm important to them, right? So it's like the flex is also kicking in there of like, oh wow, I mean so much to this person. I'm so great, like that feels really good too. Like you know, like I feel like I'm incorporating all those different pieces in, I feel.
So you
So
might have more balance being the on the two poles.
I don't know. Okay. I feel like a good comparison would be like the savior feminine TE EJs with a masculine FI at the bottom. I wouldn't call them more balanced. I would call them a different kind of crazy. Because masculine FI at the bottom is lashing out in a really bottled up way, which is a very different way from masculine TE at the top. Now, masculine TE at the top is really aggressive in its own special way. And I feel like it's just a different brand of behavior. I don't feel like it's more or less anything, you know? So.
I think what I'm just trying to process is like, what the heck is going on with me?
I mean,
I'm just saying.
what is the heck going on with you?
A girl from high school reached out to me. Was like, hey, remember me? I was like, I only remember one instance with you. She's like,
how much time have you put? But you're not okay. This is where maybe you're right. Where like if I take on the like, how much are you thinking about her? I think about people all the time. Like they live rent free in here. You know, I always have people in here. Yeah.
And I could see how someone entertaining you. I hate to say, like, don't get mad at me, but it's a feminine role. It's like, oh, you're entertaining me. New jester, audio man came along, and whereas as a guy, it's like I'm not trying to get anyone to entertain me. I'm a girl at the court.
Yeah, I don't know. Kings have jesters. Kings have jesters. Not just queens. So the masculine archetype also has that. And here's the interesting thing. The king is a jester who can also tell them the truth, right? Archetypally, like that's the person who can say the truth, right? And so I'm thinking about how important it is even to like have people I can be vulnerable with. And then the other side, I've got people like those same people are the people who are also making me laugh. So it's like that psychological vulnerability is showing up already, you know? So it's like that I'm just saying like that might be a connecting factor of like, if you're not tracking the people who are breaking down your barriers and you don't know who you can trust to share with, you know, that might be part of the working on friends thing.
I got two. Now it was like when you're telling me about this, I'm like, when have I had a moment like that? And I'm like, it's just blank. And then I got, okay. Jason made me laugh. Eugene made me laugh very recently, literally today. Jason bait and switched me with a photo. And I was like, you can't.
Yeah. Okay. That. See, like that's funny. That's a funny. Like he's okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like the people. Like okay, why is sense of humor so important when dating? Why? Because humor is disarming. Humor, right? Like it's like playing a game of strip poker and you lose a hand. You're like, oh well, gotta take this off. Like someone makes a joke and you don't expect. You're like, okay, I lose the hand. Okay, here you go. You know, like. That's what humor is. Humor is disarming. It's why am I telling the savior NF this? Like humor is necessary for I think making the bridge towards psychological vulnerability. If you can't make someone laugh, then like you don't if they don't find you funny, they don't like you. This is my like that's like hot take. If you can get someone laughing, they will like you. Like that's why, honest to God, one of the things that like I've really honed in on is like there was someone in my life who like did not think I was funny. And it's like, you probably don't actually like me then because all my friends think I'm fucking hilarious. And I am. So like that's the other thing is I make myself laugh now and I like myself so much more. Nice. And it's like, oh, these things might go together. Just maybe. Just an idea. Just throwing that out there for you. So yeah, maybe track what makes you laugh. You can at least track
tell you, but it's too well. I can tell you what Eugene said.
Oh my! I don't actually want to. I don't give a shit about the literal sensory. I am too NI for this.
A 60-year-old goes. A 60-year-old man goes. Yup, I'm a simp, and I'm like.
That's great. Okay,
I go, Eugene, get off the internet. Eugene,
that's amazing. No, Eugene, become terminally online. Eugene, come join us. Eugene, give him an invite to the server. Let's do it. Let's get Eugene on. Yo, let's get Eugene in the server. Let's get Eugene typed. I want to get Eugene typed. I don't give a shit about anybody else in this conversation right now. Can you hang up and get me Eugene? I want to talk to that guy.
I'm gonna have
Fuck
to get
off.
a drink with Eugene. I'm gonna have to. I was like, well, I'm gonna be friends with Eugene, and I was like, and I thought about like getting a drink. I was like, and I'm like, no. I care about this man. I obviously care about this man.
Yeah, he makes you laugh. Okay, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Rabbit is sitting there being her voluptuous goodness, right? And there's like, well, why are you with Roger? And it's like, he makes me laugh. And like, come on. That's what gets Jessica fucking Rabbit. You think you're like immune to that shit? If Jessica fucking Rabbit is falling for guys that make her laugh, like, that's true of everybody. It's a universal fact. People that aren't funny should be killed off. No. See?
I was about to say I don't think of myself as a funny person. And then like there are people like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, but here's the thing. Maybe not every single person finds you funny. That's normal and okay. You can't be funny to everybody, but maybe you can be funny to your people that you're supposed to connect with. Yeah. Just a thought. Just an idea. Maybe your people will find you funny.
Why are you schooling me on NF? Thank you.
Because I'm better than you.
I'm better than you right now. I'm working on it. I'll get there.
I mean, Dave's talked about that though, that there are some like ISTPs that have like better NF than he does. And honestly, I kind of feel like it's necessary. It's like, it is life or death necessary for me to work on NF and to work on FI, right? It's not life or death necessary for you, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, for you, it's blast. Like it's blast, like blast S and ST. For me, it's like life or death with the NF, and that's okay.
It fucking stinks. Okay, but
you're telling me I'm Savior ST. I live here.
But that is how I find people. Those people who laugh at my jokes. Oh, that
or make you laugh.
And make. Oh, my heart is.
Yeah, they have power over you. They make you vulnerable. Think about laughing. Like the feeling of laughing is like this hysterical full body motion. It's extremely vulnerable. Any predator could come get you. Just rolling on the floor like an idiot. That's tiger bait.
Shit. Okay. I have one last question for you, actually.
You have one last, but the chat has questions, right?
The chat has questions?
All right. I know Tamara had one. I don't know if there's one before then, but I know Tamara had at least one.
Yeah, where's Tamara?
I've got it. Well, let me click. No, you got wait, click on it. Click on it so it pops up so people and then there we go. And now I'll be responsible for blast. Do you compete in every aspect? Is it a must for you to always have people see you winning? Yes and no. I think that the true answer is yes. At my core, I really feel like I always have to be winning or I'm going to die. It's kind of like being a shark where it's like I have to keep swimming or I'll die because I can't breathe. That's what winning feels like. But like, I mean, this honestly, this advice like from Dave and Shan has like been really, really important to me is that if you can turn the savior on itself and turn it towards the demon, you can make it through more because then like, you feel savior obligated to do the thing, right? And so one of the things that works for me with FI, and I'll get to friends and flex and friends in a second. With FI, it's not efficient to let the emotions run wild. So you better take care of these in advance. You better know what they're going to be. You better be ready for them because you don't have a choice. Because otherwise, it will ruin your day, and you will be less efficient, and you will get less things done. And then the thing you're afraid of, no one loving you, will be true. So you better pre-process that, have your emotions settled, and know what you're going to feel in advance. You better make that space between your immediate reaction and your immediate response and your actual action as big as you can, because otherwise you're going to be less efficient. So that's something that like has really helped me. And that's where like a lot of the work has come from is like, I've seen that at work where the thing that someone needs is a hug. They don't need me to do the thing for them. They don't need me to solve their problem. They just need a hug. And that's really hard for me to come to, like, it's not an instinctual response for me at all, but it does work to do the feelings. And that's where it's like, okay, so I do all this robot talk to get to giving someone a hug, right? You know? And I think that that's the same thing with like, what is winning? maybe winning is like, okay, for example, I keep bringing up Catan because I love Catan. But
Mhm.
one of the things I actually really like when I play with a lot of people is not winning. I really like, I'll come out really strong right at the gate. I'll be like a really fierce competitor the whole game. And if I don't win, the other person feels like they really earned it. And then they want to play with me again. And then maybe next time I'll get to win. And it's like way more, I'm winning like as Jordan Peterson, like his thing about the game of all games, winning the meta game, being a
So
good
bad.
player. So people want to play with you. Like that's worth it. And so that's like, I'm very competitive. I'm a really sore loser. I'm a really sore winner. I'm a sore learner. If you're trying to teach me something, I'm a bitch. Like I'm really hard to deal with. But the more that I've been able to like put my name to, did they have fun? Did we have a good time? Do I feel like they would want to hang out with me again? The better. Like even with my own interview series, what I did was I was like, okay, my goal is, does the other person want to come be on my channel again? Would they come back? If the answer is yes, I succeeded. I don't give a shit about what we talk about. I don't care if we talk about ops. I don't care what the fuck we talk about. If they want to come back. And so, yeah, I am very competitive. I always want people to see me winning. I've just learned to redefine winning. And I was doing that actually, I think, before I got the typing of 1. And I think that's what really actually, it made it easier to deal with. And then also like made it, you know, I processed it, I think, relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like you do have to kind of redefine the game of winning to win. Because I was told, like, you don't listen to anyone. I don't listen to anyone, and I don't take criticism, and I don't learn from others.
No, you don't.
And people started going like, "Hey, have you learned to take credit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can learn to take it to try and get the growth, but it's hard. It's hard." Did you see any other questions?
Eric had a question about my server. So I have a server on Discord. No people that are not in it already, you're not invited. It's a closed server. I don't want to deal with more people. Contact me in like a month or something if you want in, because I'm not in the mood. But I do have one. So that's T. It's below at 8:05. If you want to grab that, I already have it on my side. I just can't click and pull it up.
Oh wait, what?
Scroll to 8:05.
Scroll to 80. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Wait.
Koala Guy 21.
Oh, okay.
That's Eric.
Oh. You said 8:05? What are you talking about?
Oh, it'd be 7:05 for you.
Oh, there it is.
I'm the observer today.
All I see is.
What do you think running a server with such dope people has taught you?
Yeah, what has it taught you, Gray?
No, legitimately, I actually did want to talk about this. So, like, I think that having the server has, like, legit helped me a lot because I feel like I can actually be vulnerable with people there. And I can be a lot more honest about what I'm feeling and going through in a smaller setting where I feel like I'm in charge. I can control it all. I have, like, I'm still playing my little one game, but I can be vulnerable there in a way that I really like. I would not be able to have this kind of candid conversation without the practice that I've had there. So like that's, I think, a really big part of it. Like being comfortable with that. I think about some of my older interviews and I think about how like it's very formal. I've really thought out everything that I'm saying and I'm like saying it from this really like, and there's nothing wrong with saying it from a pre-processed state. Like I definitely am saying things that I've thought about before, but I think there's a difference in me personally, I'm noticing a difference in my actual state of, I feel like I'm in Discord having a conversation on video chat versus I used to be very aware that there was going to be more than just people in Discord looking at me, you know, and then more than just the people in VC, because it's very different when you only have like 10 people that you know really well looking at you versus hundreds of people that you don't know at all looking at you. And I think that the server has really helped me learn that it's okay to get vulnerable in front of people. And then one of the things that actually really helped me was realizing like, what's the difference between Discord and YouTube? What's the difference? Practically speaking, there's none. There's no difference. If I'm confident to speak on Discord with people that I've never met before, but I simply have established a rapport with them over time, why can't I do that on YouTube? Why can't I do that with people in real life? Why can't I do it, period? Like, I've realized that the thing that was holding me back from advancing in a lot of ways in my interpersonal life wasn't actually anything wrong with the other people or wrong with me. It was that I wasn't taking the skills I was already developing and moving them over, you know? And as soon as I just ported them over, like, my coworkers want to hang out with me. I don't know. I was like, oh, just started talking like I do on Discord, which is like talking about my life and being more candid about the stuff that scares me, you know? I'm scared all the time. God, I'm scared. I'm sad all the time, and it's so hard. And it's so difficult, but I just try to make it through every single day. And I just talk to people on there all the time about it. And then I yell at them, call them idiots when they act like idiots. And it's a great relationship, you know? I don't know why Eric would ask when he's not even in there right now, because he's a bitch.
What happened to Eric? He got kicked out?
He left because he wants to go grow as a human being or something. And I think that's respectable, and I have to give him shit for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eric, you get a cookie.
He does get a cookie.
Cookie.
You can pour a shot out for him. You know what's really annoying? My freaking water bottle has been leaking lately, and it's like driving me nuts. And like, it's so easily like unhooking off the top, and I don't know why. Like, I need to figure out why it just suddenly got loose recently, because it's been really bugging me. I've spilled water on my car multiple times now, and it's like, there's nothing but water in here, and yet for some reason the seat is still discolored. I'm like, there's only water in here. How did that happen?
It evaporated.
No, but if evaporated, then it should no longer be discolored. It should be my normal seat. Why is it discolored if there's only water in here and water leaked onto the seat?
Well, what's the seat made out of?
I don't know.
There's
missing info.
Could it have washed out the dye?
No, definitely not. That doesn't make any sense. You'd have to like actually scrub out something if you were scrubbing out, like washing out the dye. Like splashing some water on something's not gonna.
What if it's really bad? I don't know.
I don't think Toyotas are that cheaply made. I'm gonna press sus.
Well, things are being made more poorly. I swear to God. I have another question, Gray. I have another question. You might not have an answer to this.
I always have an answer. I'm Saber Blast.
How? Oh, that's perfect.
It's just not always a good answer.
How do you cope with the fact that you will one day die? How do you frame it? How do you think about it?
I don't know what happens after we die. And I don't pretend to. And I don't know where I was before. And I don't know where I'm going to be after. But I try to live my life the best I can with the knowledge that I have. Of course, disclaimers. But like, I just try to live like with enough balance of I'm going to be alive tomorrow, but let's make sure that this one was a good one, because you might not be. And there's like, I try to balance, like, you can't live your life in a permanent case of no day but today, because as much as I love rent, that is a very, very terrible, life philosophy for any actual building, but it's borrowing from Jordan Peterson again. One of the great things that he said is like, when you make yourself like 1% better, right? There's a huge ripple effect out across your entire life of just being 1% better, that then everything in your life changes and it gets way harder and way more complicated. And you're just going to start like unearthing dragons that you didn't even know were there. But throughout all of that, the world gets a little bit better, because it's that profound. Like 1% better makes your life so much more complicated and intense and scary and nightmarish, because now so much more responsibility can fall onto you, that then it gets so much more negative. At the same time, you just made the world that much of a better place. The amount of ripple effect that you have when you hold the door open for somebody, or you compliment what their pants look like or their shoes, like that small little thing makes such a difference. And so I don't know, like, one of the things that does plague me is like, am I going to do everything that I want to do? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not making any progress, and I know that I'm making progress because I've been paying attention. I've been trying to track it. And then like, okay, am I hitting these goals? Am I getting these things done? Like, I'm trying to get there, but one of the hard things is like I could die any day. And I won't have gotten those things done yet. If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have gotten those things done yet. But I had a really good weekend with people I care about this weekend. And that's worth everything because I at least made their lives a little bit better. And that's worth everything. So it's like, what are you going to do? You can't worry about dying to such an extent that you don't actually live right now, but you also can't be so concerned with, seizing every single moment that you don't actually leave anything behind either. So I think that like I just try to focus on threading that needle really well, aka I try to double observe out of my problems. But I would say it's really scary. Like it's really scary. I was talking about it yesterday. I was like processing out loud again. I'm just like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm not getting where I want to be. I'm scared that I'm never going to get where I want to be. Like, it's really scary. It makes me feel really powerless sometimes when I think about how many factors have to line up to make it all work because I don't have a long enough lever yet. So I can't move the world. That's really hard to feel like I can't, but I try to acknowledge what I can control. I try to acknowledge the things that are good every single day. And I try to just be like, I'm so lucky. If I spend like any amount of time thinking about all the things that I have, like I'm so incredibly lucky. So yeah. I mean, if I died tomorrow, I think it would be sad because I do think I have more that needs to get done, but it would have been good. It would have been good.
You know what I used to delusionally say to myself?
What?
I'm too important to die. And now I'm like, that's probably not the best strategy. Just do good. Just make good in the world, right?
What else am I going to do?
What else am I going to do?
That's boring as shit. Have you ever tried being miserable for like longer than a week? It just starts everything looks the same.
Oh,
I just no.
Who needs that? I'm done with
Yeah.
that. I'm done with being miserable, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah. I mean, that's the stuff I would say is just try to have good days. Try to be there for the people you care about, and I try to let the people I care about know that I care about them a lot more than I used to. That's a really big one. Like trying to prioritize those people more because quite frankly, there's so many people that I have that live rent free in my head that don't fucking matter. And they're going to be there because I'm Savior DE and I recognize that. But it's more about just putting in the hours on the people that do. Including myself, by the way. Like I count as one of those people. I'm pretty fucking great. Having met me, I'm funny, I'm smart, I give a great interview, I make people cry with how fucking insightful I am.
I teared up when you said I don't have a lever to move the world.
I deserve everything. So everyone should pay attention to me at all times, please. See, this is like, that's the other side. There's a feminine side, like, I'm just a little baby. But the other side is like, I am a beautiful lady and everyone should dote on me 24/7. Have a new FI voice. It's a bitch.
Yeah.
Have you cried yet? Have you had here's a question. Have you had a woman on yet? I forgot to ask. Am I breaking your sexism streak?
You are breaking my sexism streak, but my sexism streak was caused by literally everyone who came on asked, except for Billy, and the first person who was a woman, who was an SI. She scheduled the day, and then she went. I saw her in Discord, and she added me. I'm day drinking this day at this time. I'm like, hey, did you remember that we had a? So you weren't the first woman I scheduled on. So
Oh, I know. I'm aware. I'm the first woman who's shown up, though.
Who I've been able to get on. Oh, lucky me.
What this implies is that you're only attracting men to actually show up, except for I'm double masculine, so I might as well count.
You don't even count now.
Right. So basically, we have to work on your rampant underlying sexism. That's the next project.
Sexophobia.
There we go. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better? Are you still crying? Are you good?
Hey, I fucking love women. For real.
I love women. No one supports women like I do.
No one loves women.
I think
more
women
than
are
Henry
huge.
Lanick. No one loves women more than Henry Lanick.
No one
Ladies
loves
know
women
it.
more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I think women are huge.
Huge. You can't stop it.
For some reason, I think of that, and then my brain jumps to, she's got huge tracts of land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. By the way, if you take the anecdote that an MM woman is a man, I will hunt you down and kill you. That's not how that works.
That was a joke.
No, I know that it was. I made the joke. I'm just making it very ST clear that that's not funny, and you don't joke about that unless a woman makes a joke first. And even then, you got to be good enough friends with her.
Fair. Totally fair.
Oh, that's okay. Just a completely random aside. That's something I definitely see from the Savior Flex thing is that like I'm very intolerant to who I will let make jokes. Like I get very, very angry if someone that I deem who has not earned their place in my court makes a joke to me. I'm like, you don't know me well enough for that. Sit back down. And then same joke could come from a different person and I am losing it laughing. I've even caught that with like things I'll let like different family members say. Like I have my family members, it is completely FI irrational. There is no like this person did this and that's why I like that. It's like just straight up like nope, there are people I'm more attached to than not, and I hold them at certain distances and I let other people in closer, and I let some people in my family make more fun of me than others. Just like crazy. It's a random anecdote that I've noticed is like especially like the single deciding, once I like somebody, I'll let them get away with murder. Like I'll let them get away with a lot. So it's like I think that's also the demon friends of like single decide plus demon friends. I'm like, if you're in the circle, you are in it. Yeah.
I'll let you get away with anything. You're my homie.
Yeah, and I'll tolerate anything up until I single decide again in the other direction. Instead of like, I'm trying to practice like, okay, what sucks about you? What do I not like about you again? What are your negative patterns? Do you have those? Like I'm trying to like remember those.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I try to rely on like the pattern of it. Like what's the pattern that I can predict from this person? So I can trust the double observing more than I can trust like my ability to see the tribe in a balanced sort of way. So the double observing though, I can like, okay, I know this person's patterns. Okay, let's work with that. So.
Okay. Well, Gray, I've had a great time. It's been great letting your blast pound me in the face. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you get that out of your system? Are you good now?
Yes. It's been great.
Is it really that abusive? You poor thing.
No, it's not been abusive.
I can just imagine that I like asked like, hey, this seems like it'd be fun. Do you want to do this? And you're just like, not again. I can just imagine that was you. What? You know, you're just like, God damn it. Now I have to deal with it in voice chat. I have to deal with it over text. Nah. She just yells at me all the time. Now she's going to do it where everyone can see. I'm just going to get humiliated for an hour and 27 minutes straight. And I'm going to be grateful by the end because she's a filthy gaslighter. That's probably the exact chain of events that happened.
No, none of that happened. You're projecting.
I know.
I like you, Ray.
I know none of that happened. I'm making shit up.
I come to you for help.
You punch yourself in the face. I know. I'm aware.
Okay. Well, I'm going to close it up. It was great having you on. Bye, everyone.